Punch the Timeline.
You're listening to Punch the Timeline with Jarrod and Devin.
Tea.
I just got out from the snow.
Gross.
There's a lot of it.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they cancel work again tomorrow.
I called in. I was just straight up. Fuck off.
All I know is my street has not been touched once since all this shit started.
Oh yeah, my neighborhood is just.
That's
That's the rough part.
And my car is actually basically in a drift. So
Snow in Oklahoma.
record-breaking lows in Oklahoma.
Record-breaking low highs in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Live from the snowpocalypse, it's the latest episode of Punch the Timeline. I didn't go to work today.
I haven't been to work in a week.
It's Jarrod and Devin. How are we doing today? Just wanted to go back to Future State.
Yeah.
I have nothing good to say about it. I keep buying it, but let me put it this way. I went to the comic book store last week. I think it was like late Wednesday. I got Dark Detective, which I read. Really good. This is the one book that keeps my attention. The Superman Lex one, not bad. Kind of feels like a standalone issue. But then I started getting, further into it, and I start to read, and then I just find myself flipping. Like, not even reading, just kind of scanning. I have 3 books here that I got 2 weeks ago that I didn't even read. They just sat on my counter for a whole week. One will disappoint you because it's Nightwing.
Oh.
I didn't even read it. I'll probably read it after we finish recording here. Superman Worlds at War. Didn't read it. The next Batman, I just can't. I'm so glad that Future State is winding down. Let me look here. Have you
Put it
read...
in perspective, I didn't buy any more since the last time we recorded. I didn't even buy Nightwing, and I like Nightwing is my man, and I still didn't buy it.
But I'll tell you what I did like. This isn't Future State, but this puppy right here.
Oh yeah.
Harley Quinn, White Knight presents Harley Quinn. Little Jason Todd cameo. That's some quality shit right there.
Yeah, I need to find all 3 copies because I keep consistently finding 2 and 3, but I can't find a 1 anywhere.
Did you read Curse of the White Knight?
Nope. I need to get the
major
collection.
Major spoilers. So you got to read.
Yeah, that's why another reason I haven't, but I wanted to pick it up just so I'd have it.
So I know that we've been referenced by the Rambling Geek for our Future State episode when they were trying to explain the situation of what DC is doing. And I just felt like we read these, like the description said, we read these books so you don't have to. I just can't.
Like I said, Dark Detective, I need to go pick that up because I was genuinely interested in finishing Dark Detective. Because that one's probably been the most interesting out of all of them, aside from Teen Titans, which I can't get my hands on a second copy. So,
also on Black Label, this Batman Catwoman, that's Phantasm on the cover.
That's what I figured.
That's pretty interesting. I don't know where it's going, but it's a Tom King book, so you just kind of hang on for the ride. Man, am I happy that the regular titles are coming back this week. And speaking of, kind of disappointing, I always try to give the DC TV shows a chance. Superman and Lois came out, and everybody on Twitter was like, "Oh my God, this is it! This is the best show! This is so good!" And I was really genuinely excited. My DVR screwed up, and I didn't get to watch it on the premiere day, but I watched it Saturday night. They ran it on TNT or something. Superman has 2 sons in this show. One is super athletic and named Jonathan, and the other one is named Jordan, and he's depressed, and he's kind of a loser. And so you've got the jock and the nerd. And then, of course, one of them gets their powers. Can you guess which one it is? Can you guess which one got the superpowers, Devin?
Probably the fucking nerd.
The fucking nerd got the powers. But first of all, he didn't tell them he was Superman until they found the spaceship. Oh, his mom died. Superman's mom died, so they're in Smallville for the funeral. And they're like, you know how Dad says don't go in the barn? There's something in the barn. And then they're like, I can't believe that you never told us and you left us alone and you missed everything. It's like, he's Superman. If anybody has an excuse for missing your baseball game, Junior, it's Superman. But yeah, Jordan Kent, just no. I try with every Arrowverse show. This is technically still Arrowverse, because Superman came from Supergirl, which is on a different Earth, which is on a different Earth, which is... I can't. We're going to be doing Outsiders, Batman and the Outsiders episodes until the end of time, because I just can't get into anything current.
Nope. Except for Department of Truth.
Except for like Image Comics. Those are the books that I'm reading that I'm like, yes. And anything that Sean Murphy does. But yeah, sorry, Superman and Lois. I just can't do it.
Yeah, I've always meant to give DC more of a chance on their live action TV series, and they're never as good.
Arrow was really good until they kind of made it less grounded. When they brought in Ra's al Ghul, that's when it's like, hold the fuck on. It's like when you start bringing immortal ninjas into it, and then that just that just opened the door for, and then there's the Flash, and then there's Supergirl, and then there's the fucking Legends of Tomorrow. They're time travelers, Devin. And these people have died. These are like, oh, remember this girl from Arrow that died? Surprise, she's a time traveler.
Something we can all agree on. DC shines in their animated shows and movies, and that is their realm.
Truth.
I've never watched a bad animated DC anything.
Oh, did you see that one of the Batman Beyond director Andrea Romano urges fans to demand revival from Warner Brothers? We would like to make it.
Oh yeah, I actually did see that.
I think it's like a little nudge. It's like, hey, if you depends. Yeah, they're basically like, hey, if you kind of make some noise, we can probably get this wheel rolling, and you can get some more Batman Beyond. Sign me up.
Love it. Yeah, please. Batman animated series, Batman Beyond,
everything. Bring back the '90s cartoons.
Bring back the '90s cartoons. Even the Justice League one. That one wasn't great, but I liked it anyway.
I've actually watched a few of those episodes because my kid is like, I want to watch Batman. And I'm trying to find something that's not too
that
crazy.
Justice League. That's not that crazy.
Yeah. I like the Brave and the Bold Batman because that's a little more...
That is very fair. That one is very childish. It has fucking gung-ho Aquaman in it too. Fucking ha ha ha!
Oh, jeez.
Slaps Batman, breaks back.
We're going to be reading Outsiders forever.
We're going to be reading Outsiders forever. We have more Hitman to record, too.
Oh, man. That's, do we want to go ahead and commit to, we're coming back. We're going to take a whole month and just go back to our old stuff. Outsiders, Hitman, Outsiders and Hitman.
Outsiders and Hitman. We need to cover Court of Owls at some point.
Yeah.
I keep pushing for that one because Court of fucking Owls.
Court of fucking Owls. We'll do that.
Good. Oh, hi. Are you going to make your presence known?
I see a cat.
To everybody at home, I have a new cat, and he really does not like to be out of my lap. And that's a problem because he's a ball of static.
If you're watching his Twitch channel, you saw a little interaction with the cat.
Yeah. If you saw that, you know that basically every 2 seconds is, no, Jack, you can't touch that. No, Jack, stop touching my monitors. No, Jack, you're literally hurting me.
Ironic that this cat's name is Jack, considering the episode we are about to dedicate to Starman from 1994, written by James Robinson with art by Tony Harris. This is a very special book to me. When I was younger, I started reading this book, and it was instantly my favorite. I got on a little late. I got in about 2 years in. But once I started reading, that was my go-to book. I cried when it ended. Yeah.
Aww.
And it's always held a special place in my heart, and hopefully it holds up. Because I haven't read it in about 5-10 years. So
And this is my very first ever introduction to Starman, and I had no idea who he was prior to this comic.
that's because, other than a brief appearance in 0 Hour, this is the first appearance of Jack Knight. Because since the dawn of time in DC Comics, Jack's father Ted was Starman. There are other people who've been Starman, but this incarnation with this set of powers has always been his dad, Ted. And that's the good thing about this book is everyone who's been a Starman makes an appearance in this book, and it somehow ties together. This book is like rereading this first issue. Everything is just sewn in, and the seeds are planted many years before. And it's just a masterpiece. So you know that I'm going to give a thumbs up on this no matter what. But will Devin?
We will see
So,
after the break.
Yeah, I forgot about the break. Shit. After the break, we're coming back. Starman number 0. Don't go away. Actually, you can go away now because we've already got your play. It counts. If you really want to hear about Starman, come back. If not, we got you.
Ha! Get pranked. Ashton Kutcher jumps out the closet.
Punch the Timeline will be right back after this.
We're back. Before we start, I want to admit something. Okay. I was in a band. I've been in a couple of bands, actually. So I play a little bit of this and a little bit of that. There was a period where I was writing songs left and right because I was just sitting at home, drinking myself to death, smoking shit tons of pot, and writing music. I was so into Starman that I have a concept album written based on this run.
Wow.
I have a couple of songs that are fully written, but never recorded.
Sounds like you have something to do.
I do. We'll get back to that later. All right, Starman number 0, written by James Robinson, art by Tony Harris. How'd you feel about the art?
I like the art. I think it was I don't know, it's kind of it gives me the epitome. To me, it's the epitome of like that time. I like the shading. I like the it's colorful but yet somehow dark.
Yes, and the art tightens up. Like I feel like the inking in this is a little loose in this first issue, but it really tightens up like
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously I don't have that much cuz I have a single issue. So,
oh, damn. Remember the Great Comics Purge of 20 whatever?
yeah. Got rid of all your single issues of Starman.
Got rid of all my single issues of Starman.
Jarrod, I'm going to need you to like leave the room, leave your house and jump out into a snowdrift.
I should, because I had this feeling. I grabbed an omnibus, and I was like, why should I do that when I've got the single issues? And this sinking feeling hit me in the pit of my stomach, and I was like, you gave away those Starman comics, didn't you? I gave away those Starman comics.
God damn it, Jarrod.
If you're going to do something in a minimalist fashion, maybe don't start with your comics. Make your comics the last thing so you know you're really sure. Because 5 years from now, you might have a podcast, and you might want to reference those things. Even though I've got it on my computer screen too. It just still kind of hurts, but...
No, fuck that. Physical copy.
Physical copies, which... Let's just jump into the book.
Let's jump into the book. We're
So-
only doing one issue at a time for this, too.
So at the end of or in the middle of 0 Hour, as things are just falling apart, the magic that has kept the Golden Age heroes young has been taken away, and so all the heroes from the 40s are back to their original age. Some people do not survive that. Jack's father, Ted, the original Starman, hands off the mantle of Starman to his brother, to Jack's brother, David. So when we open this book, David Knight is Starman, and it kind of gives you a little bit of history on the city. Opal City is where this takes place. Gives you a brief little history of it, and we see David looking over the city and how proud he is of how things are going as Starman. And he goes to take flight. He takes a bullet right to the heart. Here we go with Starman. Did this catch you off guard?
Yes. I mean, really, when you start a comic, you don't expect to just watch the namesake of the comic just plummet to his death. I mean, unless it's like Deadpool or something, but that's pretty normal.
And then the credit page is just a full-on splash page of David dead in an alley. Rising
With a bullet with a hole through his chest and a crushed skull and everything else because, dropping from the top of a skyscraper.
Falling Star, Rising Sun, Sins of the Father, Part 1.
Hey, that rhymes. I didn't catch that the first time.
Then we flash back. We get a little interaction between David and Ted and Jack. And you get to see Jack in the before times. Not in the COVID before
In the
times,
before times.
But Jack is a mid-30s slacker that owns a vintage store, an antique store, whatever you want to call it. His dad calls it his junk shop. And he's trying to buy books from his brother, who's too busy dealing with being Starman now. So Jack is a slacker. Jack doesn't want to do anything but his own thing. Obviously, he's not his dad's favorite. Jack is clearly not the favorite. He has no interest in being Starman, and he kind of insults David.
In turn, insults his father.
So he gets kicked out of his dad's house for a little bit, and as it turns out, that's the last time he sees his brother.
Never how you want to end a goodbye on a sour note.
Yeah.
That's why you should never leave angry, guys. Make up. Don't break up.
So this
To quote
book,
Foreigner.
this book really just, you get one page before like the action starts, because Jack goes on his merry way. You get to see what he's doing. He gets to deal with all the characters. I like Opal City. Like the history of Opal, they really go further in the book. But
It's just pretty cool.
it's just like there's old parts of town. Like he goes down into Old Town to deal with some people, and you kind of see what he did. He's got his own thing. He's got his own thing. He's got a store. Nights passed. There's so many little hidden things in there. Like, how far have you read so far?
This is the only one I've read thus far because I have 0, then I have 1. Then I think that's all I picked up because then it skipped really far ahead for what I could find in back issues.
The fortune shop, that comes back too. There's so many things that you see in this book, and you just kind of, they're Easter eggs, for the lack of a better word. Because like I said, they really sew in a lot of stuff into this book. After we get a look at what Jack's doing in his life, a few hours later, he gets the phone call from his dad that his brother is dead.
And obviously he is extremely upset. His father says he's going to go to the morgue alone to look at the body, find out what happened.
But that's the part I like, is he's like, I have a feeling there's more to this than just somebody taking out your brother.
And he tells him that the files that he left with him a few years back has a rod and a belt containing the powers for Starman.
The cosmic belt, which allows you to fly. There's a lot of Golden Age history in this book. So if you read Golden Age, I think James Robinson also wrote that, because I think they fall back to that, because there are moments where Ted will refer to some things from the past. He has a mental breakdown because of his guilt of what he did with the nuclear bomb, and they reference that in this book. So not only does he have a dead brother, but his dad is upset. If you turn the page where it's like mostly shadows where Ted is leaving, I have a preliminary pencil page of that from Tony Harris.
Wow, where'd you get that?
eBay. Ted's leaving, and like this is like an action movie, really, because his house blows up.
Yeah, gets blown up and he takes a brick to the skull.
And then
So he's alive, but not awake.
You start to see that this is not just a random shooting, that there's a plan going down. Because Jack, if that was me, though, if I found out my brother was dead, I wouldn't just be sitting there hanging out at my shop. I would have shut down and gone despite what my dad said.
Yep.
But Jack stayed.
Like, no, that's my family.
Yeah, but Jack stayed, and then a mysterious man comes in and starts asking him questions about all the things he might sell. And sure as shit, this guy's coming to kill him.
Black suit, black sunglasses, and a triple-barreled pistol.
Shooting guns and fire, but Jack's got a little bit of martial arts training. Still takes a bullet to the leg.
And some fire to his right arm.
And as he's trying to get the cosmic rod to fight back, this guy finds out what's going on, takes the belt and then blows up Jack's building. But Jack, just in time, gets the cosmic rod and flies out. It's a good splash of him flying. You get a kind of a look at Opal City as his building is being blown up.
It's a pretty cool little shot.
And then it started. We finally kind of get a look at. Finally, it's the first issue, Jarrod. Jesus Christ, we get a look at who these people are. This is the son and daughter of the Mist, which is Ted Knight's arch nemesis.
Okay. That's who that is then. Again, first introduction. No name was given. I had no fucking clue who this was.
I see that now. The Mist wanted Ted to be alive to see his sons murdered. This issue ends kind of flat to me.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, good. And then you turn the page and Jack's like, shit, my dad's in the hospital. I got to get out of here. I got to stay low. I got to hide. But
I'm dying.
But the funny part is, at the end of this book, he's like, I got to find my dad. He'll know what to do. After all, with David dead, he's Starman and I'm not. And it's funny because
he doesn't want to be.
Because after, it seems like every issue, he's like, I'm not Starman. Like, he never wears the costume. And then there's an ad for all the omnibus that you can buy. I'm going to have to buy those now. I wanted that tattoo.
The Starman tattoo?
Yeah, the one that he has on his arm, but the artist has it as well. I was like, well, I don't want to have someone else's tattoo tattooed on me. But every one of my tattoos, everyone else has. Like, I don't have an original tattoo.
I do have in the back of mine a ad for the Ray.
Yeah.
But there's nutrition facts on the bottom of it.
Read it. He's good for you.
Read it. It's good for you. Serving size 24 pages. Serving 1. Calorie 0. Enjoyment asterisk. Monthly value is based on only the coolest comics.
Now, is that the miniseries or the series?
For the Ray?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who's the artist? Howard Porter or Joe Quesada?
It gives me exactly none of this info. Oh, wait. By Christopher Priest. Pencils that are butter by Howard Porter. Inks by Robert Jones.
Christopher Priest, badass writer. He's the one that did
So there you
Deathstroke.
go.
If you want to look back to our pre-Punch the Timeline episodes, one of our most popular ones is the Deathstroke one written by Christopher Priest. Now,
Deathstroke Rebirth.
one quick thing about that physical copy in your hand. The letter column means something in this book.
Oh, it does.
Yes. This just has notes about the book, but in later issues, the letter column sometimes has stories of a character that has not appeared yet in this book.
So you're talking about this guy right here?
I'm talking about the Shade. There's so much to this book. This first issue falls a little flat as far as like the ending. I wouldn't say that it's a bad ending, but it's just like it feels like it's written more as a written for trade, like a bulk of stories.
Mm-hmm.
Because odd way to end a book. How did you feel about the book having read it for the first time?
I'm interested in it. The immediate death of what is the current Starman, I guess you could say, is very just like up in your face, and that's not something that happens very often. So that's an interesting development, I guess you could say. I'm interested to see how the characters are going to develop and change in terms of what's going to happen to Ted, and what's going to happen with Jack, just because he got his butt kicked.
The supporting characters haven't even been introduced yet. This book hasn't even begun to unravel.
Literally all that we've seen, I guess you could say, quote unquote, 2 supporting characters, and that's assuming that they are actually supporting characters and not just one-off appearances, which is the tattoo artist and the dry cleaner.
No, that was just a one.
Yeah, that's about what I expected. So there's a lot of stuff. I'd say I haven't gotten into it enough to really figure it out yet. So I want to read more to figure out what it's all about.
Fair enough. I'm absolutely in love with it, even though the first issue ended a little wonky. Also, that's the DC thing where they just started. They're like, hey, origins and like new books start with 0. I don't know if they
0 hour.
Yeah, I don't know if they still do that, but that's what's going on with the book starting with 0.
I don't know, because with like Rebirth, I got Nightwing 1, and that was kind of like the announcement of Nightwing Rebirth. But then when the series like actually started, it was also Nightwing Rebirth #1.
I don't fucking know. Have you heard
I
those?
don't know, man.
Have you heard those DC rumors? Did I send you that link? There's a rumor that there's some very wealthy DC fans, which means I'm sure they're actors or investment bankers or something, but they're trying. The rumor is that they're trying to buy the publishing rights to all the DC comic books from Warner, and apparently the dollar amount is like between $300 million and $500 million. And there are other artists. There's some fan was like, "This is clickbait bullshit," and then there's someone who blocked us on Twitter was like, "No, I've heard this and it's real."
Trying to find all the links you sent me. Batman 89 sequel comic.
That's gonna be cool, but I think the Superman one will be better.
The sequel to Batman or Superman 78.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Seems like there's some interesting stuff that's going to be happening here soon.
Yeah, crazy times in DC Comics. I'm all about that. Do you want to come back to this at some point?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Like I said, I'm interested, and it's your favorite, so I feel like we just have to.
Sounds
Maybe
good.
I'll fall in love with it the same way you did.
Perhaps.
Maybe I'll be hypercritical, and I'll be like, "Jarrod, this is trash."
It's
and then you'll
been
then
like
you'll ban me.
25 years, so it's not gonna hold up like
Yeah.
it would back in '96 or something. Whenever
It's like going back and watching shows that you remember fondly as a child. That you're like, "This was so good," and you watch it as an adult, you're like, "This is really bad."
I don't think it'll be bad, but I think there are some parts I'll be like, ooh, because there's a point where the editor of this book dies, and it
Ooh.
really fucks with James Robinson's head, where he takes on a co-writer. And then Tony Harris leaves the book, and there's a little bit of a phase with the art. So the guy that takes over on the art for him, eventually, there's contrasting styles. So
I see.
it's like any series that lasts a long time besides Hitman. You're going to have these different art changes. I do like that even though that editor died, they listed him in the credits till the very end because they listed him as the guiding light.
Which is awesome.
So we always have trouble sometimes deciding what to do next.
Mm-hmm.
I've decided to take the decision out of our hands. Let me flash back to wrestling. World Championship Wrestling 1992. Jake the Snake Roberts challenges Sting to a match. The stipulation is decided by a wheel. The match is called Spin the Wheel, Make the Deal. There are about 10 different matches on the wheel, and so they spin the wheel that night to decide which one it was. So I'm going to steal from that, and we're going to spin the wheel and make the deal. I have on my phone an app called Spin the Wheel.
Go figure.
I have 2 wheels. One wheel has the different eras of DC Comics, and then the other wheel has several characters. Many characters. Devin, are you ready to spin the wheel?
Spin the wheel. Spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel, make the deal. Spin the wheel, make the deal.
It stopped spinning. I can't see what it says.
Rebirth.
All we're doing rebirth.
And let's pick a character.
Okay. That is a lot more characters than I remember being on that wheel that you showed me. I definitely can't read it now.
Oh!
Yeah! I have all of those.
Nightwing. Nightwing Rebirth will be our next episode.
Yeah! I'm wearing the jacket the entire episode.
This book, or this wheel spin was not predetermined.
I'm gonna get a noise complaint.
I just got a question mark text.
She doesn't understand. I am on a fucking journey right now to find the back issues of Nightwing Rebirth because I want all of them in single issues.
Dude, so I'll let you pick the storyline.
Oh shit.
I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot, but
I'm gonna have to reread a little bit.
Okay. This is exciting. I like this. The
I'm
wheel.
gonna have to reread a little bit.
The wheel has made the decision for us.
The wheel has made the decision for us, and now I'm gonna have to fucking refresh my Nightwing memory. From all the way back to 0 on Nightwing.
Rebirth.
Well, no, it was just 1.
Rebirth Nightwing. All right.
There were 2. That's the weird thing about Rebirth. I think I told you this once before. Nightwing Rebirth has 2 1s.
Yeah, I noticed that.
It has the number 1 for the debut, and then the actual number 1 for when the line starts.
You just buy the book. I don't know how many times I've bought books twice because the cover looked different or the number was different or the
Oh no, trust me. When I started collecting them, I was like, "Are they the same?" Opens to page. Opens to other page. Reads a couple. No, they're not the same.
That's the thing is with especially with the Rebirth, I'm like, or not the Rebirth, but the crappy one, the Future State. I'll be like, I don't even remember this, and I'll get home and I'll be like, well, fuck, I shouldn't have bought this because now I have two.
Oh yeah, that's like you actually gave me. You ended up getting 2 copies of Superman and Metropolis, and
Yep.
you gave me the other one. I still haven't read it.
I don't blame you. That was the
I
one.
still haven't read it.
That was the one you're like, don't worry, I'll read it for you. Future State, thumbs down. Superman and Lois, thumbs down. Starman, thumbs up.
I liked some of the character designs from Future State. That's all I got.
I love comics. But damn, sometimes do they piss me off. In a non-DC related, X-Men Legends, holy shit, is this cool.
Oh yeah.
They're letting X-Men creators go back and fill in the gaps
Oh,
and tell their untold stories.
that's cool.
So yeah, that was a must-have.
Did that just come out?
Yes, came out last
Oh
week.
shit. Okay, yeah. I'm have to. I get paid Friday, so that might have to be a nerd day.
Hell yeah.
Nerd day. Go buy some nerd shit, like this Sith acolyte mask bust that I purchased.
I don't know what that means, but
The other nerds out there will.
you'll probably get props from other people. Yes,
It's beautiful. I'm gonna post it on Instagram because I love it so much.
I will repost it on Instagram.
It sits on my desk, like the evil part of me that it is.
I don't have anything like on my desk. I have a vision for when I clean this room up and I get a new desk. For when we start recording the video.
I've got some stuff. I got my Hawkeye poster and my Nightwing and Batgirl poster, and then my Court of Owls mask.
Green
You have all
Arrow.
your comics. I don't have any comics that I feel are frame worthy.
That's half the fun. That's pretty much why I dig through the back issues now. It's like to
Except
complete.
I think I did. Actually, I take that back. I do have. Once I think I'm missing 3. I think I'm missing Nightwing's debut, number 3 from the 4-part series.
Oh, the
Once I get all
miniseries?
4 of those, I'm putting all 4 of them up on the wall
Oh, most definitely.
because that deserves it.
Agreed. That's big for you. I read an article about how Nightwing's ponytail, from when he was first from the miniseries before it went to the solo book, he had this ponytail that just like kept expanding,
Yep.
and then it got chopped off in like the first or second issue.
Yeah, and like I think second issue is when the costume switched,
Yeah,
and so right then was when that came off and the messy hair came in.
yep, that was a good run. That Chuck Dixon, Scott McDaniel run.
Oh yeah.
We'll have to review that too.
Yeah, that's on my list of I'm going to either collect all of them or I'm just going to get the omnibus if I can find them.
Yeah, I would say that I have all those, but we know that I don't know what I have anymore.
Jarrod, you gave away everything.
I did.
You've destroyed yourself.
I know. I hate myself for it because
Don't worry. We hate you too.
thank you. I feel it. I feel your hate. And it makes me keep on living.
Good. I've got a lot of it.
Bring it. Bring it to me. Let me have it all. Thank you all for listening. Keep shouting out on Twitter. I'm loving the Twitter community. The comics Twitter is where it's at.
Comic Store is pretty dope.
Yeah, I'm almost basically abandoned Instagram. Just because I love comics Twitter except for the day before and the day of WandaVision, which is just like, God damn, I had to mute Wanda, Vision, and WandaVision. I usually do that on Thursday nights, but I did it yesterday this week because the big finale is coming up.
I have not started watching it.
Do you
Not because I'm not interested. I am interested. I don't dedicate myself to many TV series, and usually when I have time to watch TV, I'm usually streaming or playing games or something.
True. But
Because that's where I be. That's my other hobby.
man, it's something else. The
Maybe
first,
I'll do what I do with all other TV series, which is wait for all of it to come out, wait an additional 2 months, and then binge watch the whole thing.
well, you can start that. The last episode is Friday.
Okay, cool. So that means May 5th, I will watch the whole series.
And then Falcon and Winter Soldier starts pretty soon.
Oh, my wife may or may not want to watch that.
You've been listening to Punch the Timeline. We'll be back with Nightwing Rebirth. Thank you for listening.
Hell yeah.
Say goodbye, Devin.
Goodbye, Devin.
Goodbye, Jarrod. We made it funny.
We're trapped in here.
Help us. I just want to read Batman and the Outsiders. Keep reading comics.
Not Future State.
God, no, not Future State. Don't end this on a down note, Devin. Go read good comics. End of show. Social media. You can follow me on Twitter at Grumpy Old Jarrod. You can find the podcast on Twitter at Timeline Punch. And you can follow the podcast on Instagram at Punch the Timeline.
You can find my social media on Twitter and Instagram at Good Guesswork. And you can follow me over on twitch.tv as Good Guesswork. I stream over there every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Feel free to drop by and say hi.
Social media.
Thanks for listening to Punch the Timeline.
That's not how we do it in Texas. A Not in Texas production.